It is the 14th day of July 2025, 195 days into the year, about 180-something days to Christmas Day. This is Morning Cafe. My name is Anne Odida, and it's my pleasure and honor to welcome Dibal to the show. Karibu sana.
Thank you very much, Anne. I really do appreciate, yes, to be part of the winning team. Yeah, early in the morning, where we have the Morning Cafe brewing. Of course, a lot of stories will be brewing here as far as politics is concerned, lifestyle is concerned, and that will be, of course, picking up on and teasing what will be coming up momentarily on the other side of a break, when we'll be having some intense discussions as well. But I trust that you had a lovely restorative weekend.
Perfect. Mine was
You're
perfect.
refreshed.
How
You
was
just
yours?
look refreshed, looking styling, looking lovely this morning.
Thank you so much. All right, and of course, Dibal is stepping in for Fred Indimuli. And let's take a look at the local dailies. We start off with the standard, or no, not again.
Yes, fresh off the press is a standard with all no, not again. This story has been trending. This is what is on the front page of a standard this morning.
Yes.
Bloodshed. What a grieved Gen Z went amid broken promises.
The Star. People Daily, why Gen Z detest this old man, Raila.
And Lagat Off The Hook. Right, this is bound to be sparking some reaction. So we eagerly wait to see how this will pan out as
Daily
well.
Nation. And then Business Daily, beer cigarette taxes record the steepest drop in 5 years.
Right, talking about the syntax, that is what is adversely affecting that. And Karata Kali ya Ruto 2027. That's what I can say.
Mwaka 2027.
Yes.
And of course, these are the conversations we'll be having today, the state of the nation.
Yes, indeed. And of course, we shall be sitting down with Richard Onyonka, who is a senator of Kisii. Also, we'll have with us David Kiplagat, who is a member of parliament for Soi. And we shall be having as well Honorable Dr. Makalimuli, who is a member of parliament, Kitui Central. So that is on the other side of the conversation after this.
All right. Let's go regional now. We take a look at the regional dailies, and we start off in Uganda. This is the New Vision. Kawesi shooting. FBI report goes missing. Now, details of strange fingerprints lifted from deceased car emerge. This is a story of a couple, a very old couple, 69 years and around 67 years, who were killed last week in Uganda. And of course, investigations have been ongoing, and now they say that FBI report goes missing. This story is on page 3 on the New Vision. Other stories here: Museveni concludes Wakiso PDM tour with massive rally. And always, every day, we usually see Museveni on the front page of the New Vision. Every day without fail.
Right.
He's here.
Okay. It reminds me also, maybe we are dialing back the time machine with the KBC with the stories that really ran about Mutukufu rice. Right? In the running order, you have like 10 stories about Mutukufu rice. So Museveni and Uganda, they're still in that epic of time in Uganda.
New Vision, to be specific. Matters education, government receives Bunyoro University land title, and president orders sacking of 152 CAS staff. On the top strip, General Muhoozi meets UNE counterpart.
Yes, that is UAE, the United Arab Emirates. And of course, you can see he's getting a souvenir there, always putting an eye on what General Muhoozi is saying. We know about the geopolitics around the East African region, very key. Some of his statements also that he's stripping off his tang, also on X, very interesting.
Yes.
Right, so you want to grab a copy of the New Vision for all the gritty details of his stories.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Daily Monitor.
Digital plates, Uganda's behind Russian company, is what is hogging in the front page of the Daily Monitor. Controversial. Joint stock company Global Security Limited, the Russian company, awarded the digital surveilled number plates. Deal is also registered to 4 Ugandan directors. The company is incorporated both in Russia as joint stock company Global Security Limited and locally with Uganda Registration Services Bureau as both a foreign and private limited company. And you have all the stories fleshed out for you on page 4 of the Daily Monitor. Still on the front page of the Daily Monitor, Sebo is there. Sebo still is, donning his mask, not taking precautions even post-COVID. Dolo's stubbornness has propelled the judiciary to great heights. Museveni says this, and you can follow the story also inside the publication today. Why Museveni ordered firing of 150 UCEA staff. Also, that is tucked away inside the Daily Monitor. Looking at the teaser on top there, 2006, the elections where registered voters decreased is all also well fleshed out inside the Daily today. Uganda's bold voice is tucked away inside the dailies today. Truth you can trust. So the days also, they're ticking up towards their general election. And as always for the youngies, as they call them, the NIE, all-level curriculum starts to bear fruit as well. So that is what you can actually get inside the Daily Monitor in Uganda.
All right, and that's Uganda. Now let's cross over to Tanzania. We start off with gazeti la Mwananchi. Uamuzi mgumu. Kamati kuu ya Chama cha Mapinduzi yatwishwa zigo uteuzi wa watiania wa ubunge na wawakilishi. Kamati za siasa zafunga kazi. Wajumbe wapiga jalamba kwa subiri wagombea. Now, Julai tarehe 19 mwaka 2025 ni tarehe ambayo kamati kuu ya CCM itakaa chini kujadili na kuteua wana CCM wasiozidi watatu waliomba nafasi ya ubunge, uwakilishi na nafasi za ubunge wa viti maalumu kwa ajili ya kupigiwa kura za maoni. Tanzania is having the elections this year in October, and of course it's already gaining momentum there. Matters politics. Chanzo watumishi wa afya kuvikimbia vituo. Ripoti maalum katika ukurasa wa 2 na 3 anasema kwamba licha ya serikali kupeleka watumishi wa afya mikoa ya pembezoni mwa nchi, baadhi huondoka, hivyo wachache wanaobaki kubeba mzigo mkubwa wa kazi. Miongoni mwa sababu zinazowakimbiza watumishi hao ni mazingira duni, na habari kamili iko katika ukurasa wa 2. Vidokezo vingine ni kwamba Polepole uzulu ubalozi CCM yatia neno. Polepole ni mtu na amejiuzulu. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 18. And on the top strip, kumradhi Nehemiah Mchechu na kampuni ya Mwananchi Communications Limited, wachapishaji wa magazeti ya Mwananchi, The Citizen na Mwanaspoti, inaomba radhi kwa Nehemiah Kiando Mchechu kutokana na makala iliyochapishwa katika toleo na gazeti la The Citizen Ijumaa la Machi tarehe 23 mwaka 2018, 2018. They're apologizing today.
Maybe it's been a court case, so now that there was maybe a defamation on what the reporting was, and that's why they have now to make sure that maybe what the court demands of them to apologize.
Majambazi Kigoma walianzisha waambipo Simon Siro. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa 3 gazeti la Mwananchi.
The Citizen, bado tuko Tanzania, waambaje wana wa Tanzania. Tanzania steps up its war on illegal fishing. Tanzania is intensifying efforts to combat illegal fishing in its territorial waters as foreign vessels continue to exploit the country's rich deep sea resources, costing the economy tens of millions of dollars and threatening the livelihoods of coastal communities. The story continues on page 2 of the publication today. And we apologize to Nehemiah Mchechu. As you can see, that was on Mwananchi, and it is the front page also of The Citizen. I think they demanded that make sure it is not really tucked away on page 2. Normally we have all these apologies on page 2 of the publications, but now this is on the front page, that the public will know that, yes, they are apologizing. Mwananchi Communications Limited, publishers of The Citizen newspaper, unreservedly apologize to Mr. Nehemiah Kiando Mchechu for a defamatory article published in The Citizen, issue number 4551, dated Friday, March 23rd, 2018. We acknowledge that the article contained allegations that have since been found to be damaging to Mr. Muchechu's personal and professional reputation. And you can read the rest of the details there on page 4 of The Citizen this morning. And of course, this comes with the territory, occupational hazards of journalism, right? You're bound to get this defamation suits following you if you are not really fact-checking enough. And this is what has led to The Citizen now apologizing on the front page of the Mwananchi and The Citizen as well. This story, as we've mentioned, you can follow it on page 4 of the publication today. Mnazi Bay fuels 160% surge in gas revenue. That is on page 3, where you have all the gritty details of that story. And as I mentioned earlier, you can follow the fishing story on page 2. We cannot run away from our press, but a lot has been done to eradicate illegal, unregulated and unreported fishing within Tanzania's exclusive economic zone. You can follow the story also on page 2. CCM enters crucial week in vetting of aspirants, even as they're shaking up into place their preparation for the general election. This is a very, very big week for them as well. So the vetting continues apace, and you can follow the story on page 5 of The Citizen today. Pole resigns over leadership concerns. As CCM responds, you can follow that on page 3. And there is a warning, a national one. Business owners risk losing vehicles over drug trafficking. That is on page 4 of The Citizen today.
All right, now let's take a look at the weather situation. July weather, it has been chilly last week. Let's see how we are doing today and this week. Let's start off in Lamu.
Yeah, they normally say whatever the weather, we will weather the weather, whether the weather is hot or cold. Whatever the weather, we will weather the weather. Let's see how the Lamu people will weather the weather.
All right, the coastal area, 26 degrees in Lamu as we speak, feels like 28. It's clear skies today, highs of 28 degrees. Precipitation in Lamu, 0.5 millimeters, very minimal rain today. Homa Bay, 20
at
degrees this morning.
But it says feels like 24. Mostly cloudy. Precipitation 20%, humidity 87. The wind is flowing at that particular speed, 5 kilometers per hour. That is happening in Homa Bay.
Highs of 25 degrees and precipitation in Homa Bay, 3.9 millimeters. It's likely to rain in Homa Bay today. Rift Valley region, Eldoret, 14 degrees as we speak, partly cloudy. Highs of 21 degrees in Eldoret today. It's likely to rain starting noontime from 12 p.m. and precipitation here 9.5 millimeters, the highest you've seen so far.
Okay.
Let's go to Nyeri.
I don't want to be in Nyeri. But you can let us know how it is. 13
degrees this morning, mostly cloudy, highs of 21 degrees and precipitation in Nyeri 2.1 millimeters. It will rain in Nyeri as well. Twende Kitui sasa.
Yeah, Nyeri and Nairobi this morning, they're at part 13. Yes, now I think that one has gone up a bit.
This is Kitui, 16 degrees, feels like it. Clear with periodic clouds, highs of 24 degrees. Precipitation in Kitui, 0.0 millimeters. No rain, ata kidogo. This is Mandera, 26 degrees, feels like 27 this morning, mostly cloudy. Highs of 35. It's very hot in Mandera. Precipitation here, 0.0 millimeters. And finally, Nairobi, you want to take us through this debate?
Right.
The city under the sun. Let's see.
All right, at 14, yeah, it's gone a notch higher. Early in the morning, it was at 13. Yeah, it's been numbingly cold, so highs of
22.
There you have highs of 22. So today is bound to be a bit, like there. 22 is okay compared to where we've been. Wow, lows of 16, lows of 17. Yeah, you don't want to be, of course, even coming to work early in the morning with that weather. Yeah.
So precipitation in Nairobi is 0.9 millimeters today. Very minimal rain starting 4 p.m. thereabout. And it's around 17 minutes past the top of the hour. Let's take a look at the traffic situation in Nairobi. If you're coming to town, I can see the Pangani interchange. Not so bad this morning. Monday traffic. There's something here. The Pangani interchange. There's a red there. So if you want to leave,
yeah, so it seems
the
there's a
time.
chock-a-block, could be something installed there, or maybe it's just piling up. Looking at the time as well, it's notching up to, yeah, 6:30. So people are bound to be coming out at this particular time. I don't know. Everyone normally thinks about 6:30. We normally think in blocks of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:10.
All right.
If you come out just 6 or 5, it might just make a discernible difference
You're
for you as
late.
well. Yeah.
So if you go way back to Thika Road Garden City Mall, it's building up slowly. There's a little bit of a snarl up there. All the way to Githurai, Ruiru, it's also building up. If we go to the other side of town, this is the eastern area, not much to report here. City Cabanas is clear this morning. Everything is clear on the eastern side.
It's all clear, right? It's all good. But
Thika
even as you're sipping your tea, just make sure you get yourself out mapema, because as we said, we always think as Kenyans, maybe even globally, in blocks of 10, 6:30 and 6:40, or maybe 6:15. So that 5 minutes can make such a huge difference.
Hawa ni watu working from home. The roads are clear, and Westlands, Kangemi, nothing to report. That's the traffic situation. 19 minutes past 6. Let's take a look at the quote of the day.
No one else lives in your shoes, so walk your journey with boldness. Your truth is valid even if misunderstood.
All right, let's take a look at a deep look into the local dailies. We start off with the Standard. Oh no, not again. Another killing after a day-long standoff between two state security agencies, the police and the prison service, over where 24-year-old Julia Kariuki lost her life. The prison service has admitted she died in their custody. Though they claim she arrived already injured, the cold deflection of responsibility, even as a life is lost, echoes the very impunity Kenyans have been protesting against. Now, pressure is mounting on President William Ruto to rein in the growing tension and apparent thirst for blood within the ranks of his security forces. This story is on page 4. How police conceal evidence after taking lives of innocents. Case of guilt. A security guard was shot outside his workplace at Steamer Plaza on June 25th. He was rushed to hospital but was declared dead on arrival. A postmortem later raised fresh questions. The bullet, which had not exited his body, was missing from his abdomen.
And of course, this is a very harrowing story and heart-wrenching. When we talk about, you know, the police brutality that has been happening, hardly the soil is still fresh. The fresh clod of soil, on the grave of Albert Ocheng, and we have now Julia Kariuki hogging the headlines as well. And this is all about police brutality. This brings to question what is really happening in the country. I mean, in the country currently, everyone is questioning about the legality also of what was stripping off the president's lips regarding the shoot to maim, you know, so that at least, you know, you don't kill. But we saw also a legislator went full steam ahead and saying, now you can actually shoot to kill. So everyone is questioning the rule of law. Where is it? So it is really disheartening also to learn that we have Julia who died in the hands of police officers in the cells. And this is under investigation. And we do pray that we'll have, you know, the culprits brought to book as far as this is concerned. It's disheartening.
Yes.
And this is a standard.
All right, if you take a look at the inside of the Standard, I'm not the dad, man wants name removed from birth certificate. Oh, wow. We've had this discussion before on this show on how can you as a dad have your name on the birth certificate of your child or not have it if you don't want to. This story is on page 2. Educators furious after Kisumu MP publicly shamed teachers. Topical issues grab focus at music festivals. Outrage, of course, grief as another Kenyan dies in the hands of law enforcers. Barely a month, of course, after Albert Ojwang's death. Missing bullets in demo victims sparks questions. How trigger-happy police officers conceal evidence that incriminates them. Why state has resorted to terrorism charges. And on the back page of the Standard, heartbreak for Kenya as Simba's bow out of 2027 World Cup race.
You know, also the question on the page 6 of the Standard is very key, how trigger-happy police officers conceal evidence that incriminates them. And we do have right now the Act, which is the National Coroner's Service Act, that has not been implemented. And this will have actually taken this particular case where we have police who are the perpetrators and the culprits, and they are at the same time the investigators. Because ideally, what was steamrolling this particular bill, which is now an act and has been in the presence of Parliament for a longer time, is the fact that we have police doing this, you know. You try and tamper with the evidence. And now we can see in most of these cases, they want to, maybe if the bullet is lodged in your brain somewhere, they want to take the body. And we've seen all these clips on social media where even a young man was being dragged, you know, like a dog on tarmac. And that is also tampering with evidence. How do we secure such a body, which the pathologists, they are supposed to be the people who are taking care of the investigation to verify how they actually killed this particular person. The National Coroner Service Act, we should be having a Director General Coroner who is supposed to be undertaking these cases, so that now police, they do not really tamper with the evidence to cover for themselves. And you can read all about this on page 6 of the Standard, and we're asking ourselves why we do not really have them in place even right now.
All right. The Star?
The Star, we have what a grieved Gen Z want amid broken promises, unemployment and cost of living, major concerns. This story continues on apace on page 4 and 5 of The Star today. And the question has been, they're saying we are 18. Today, The Star newspaper celebrates 18 remarkable years of bold journalism. This is also for The Star. I think you can read and congratulations to them. There's a souvenir pull out for you as well inside the publication today. But the story of Gen Z continues even right now that we have a call from Raila Odinga for the intergenerational national conclave. And I think this is what they are really talking about. Their concerns, they are out there. It is well known. So most of saying we don't need to come on the table. We know what we want. We've been talking a good game about the same issues over and over the years. So why do we need to have another conversation yet we know what the outcome will be? Here's what Gen Z wants, and reveals a poll. There's a poll there, and it says political dissatisfaction, the high cost of living, and youth joblessness top the list of Gen Z's concerns, even as the government promises reforms and economic empowerment. I don't need to regurgitate all that is here so that you can actually buy a copy and read. Degwa, Gen Z Millennials Top Jumbo Jets Growth Plan. Also, that is inside the business of the Star this morning. DP, Ruto needs no IBC favors to retain seat in 2027. Right, it seems very bullish. This is the Deputy President. Kindiki says government is keen on delivering projects. Right, Kazibila break has been their mantra. Osoro Wandai blame protest on entitlement. This is another story inside the Star. Of course, you have also the pullout inside the Star today. So make sure you grab a copy to get all the wiser as far as the Star is concerned, and when they're, of course, celebrating 18 years.
Fresh, independent, and different. That's the Star.
That's the Star. They're not no longer USA under 18. Yeah, so.
People Daily, why Gen Z deters this old man Raila? Revolt, the youth who have organized mass protests without political party affiliations, see Odinga's move as an attempt to hijack their movement. Their reaction has been swift and brutal. Of course, this is in regards to Raila's call to have that national intergenerational conclave that he called for last week after the Saba.
Just maybe to hop on it a bit, I've seen journalists really detesting this headline. They're saying, I think this is not journalism. Why Gen Z detests this old man, Raila, where they're asking where is, the confirmable facts, whom did they really interview? Gen Zs remain to be an amorphous, movement. We lead leaderless, but not rudderless, yes. But where is the face of a Gen Z? So they were asking, truly, are we seeking this law? Are we becoming bipartisan, even with journalism? Or maybe nowadays there's no that demilitarized zone, you have to take a stand. You know, they say naturally, you as a human being, you're very atavistic.
Yeah.
We have to, you know, have our own confirmation biases. And even maybe the publications can truly have their own confirmation biases as well.
Yeah.
This is what is in the People Daily today.
All right, why election rigging claims are a recipe for chaos. That story is on page 5. Westlands MP Tim Wanyonyi's shift stars Bungoma politics.
Hey, this one, Wanyonyi is now just making a, you know, a U-turn. It's no longer about Nairobi gubernatorial seat. It's going to Bungoma right now.
Back home.
Merude nyumbani.
On the top strip, climate change takes Kenya's malaria battle to towns. This newspaper prides itself in being the green newspaper. That's the People Daily.
Naona nirudi nyumbani kwa baba na mama. That is now Tim Wanyonyi. Yeah, that is the song that he's singing right now. Lagat Off The Hook. This is what is on the front page of the Daily Nation this morning. And this is all controversial, I'm bound to say, because everyone has been keeping their eyes peeled and keeping out their ears just to learn how this case will really pan out. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, Albert Ojwang's grave, the fresh clod of soil, is still very wet, not really sunken in the grave as well. Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat is today expected to resume office after investigations cleared him of any wrongdoing over the death of teacher camp blogger Albert Ojwang in police custody. The police chief was forced to step aside following public pressure and youth-led protest. And this story is on page 2 of the Daily Nation. And we can see the flagger reading there, prop police boss also fighting petition in court to save his job. So this is what also you need to keep your eyes peeled on as well inside the Daily Nation today. How Realtor Bank staff and the cover-up rocked 1.5 billion shillings equity heist is inside the Daily Nation today as well. You can read all the gritty details there. And looking at the sidebar, Raila and Gachagua, the unlikely kingmakers, they have strong bases but may not run in 2027. And this is on page 5 of the Daily Nation. They may not run, but they're likely kingmakers as we know it. People are saying home, especially from the Mount Kenya region, that we don't really care who will come from this, but from this particular region or who we're going to support. But we are going to be looking for someone who has our own interest. As far as economy is concerned, for them, it is matters economy stupid, as Bill Clinton will always put it. Nakada's new drinking rules. For them that really like knocking it back, Kenya set to raise drinking age from 18 to 21 years.
Oh, wow.
This is on page 8 of the Daily Nation. There is, of course, a crisis as far as alcoholism is concerned in this country. And this is what is informing also Nakada on this as well. We cannot really tell you about the specter of alcoholism and what is done in the families as well. Let me not go there.
All right, this is Business Daily. Beer cigarette taxes record steepest drop in 5 years. Say KRA has recorded the biggest fall in tax receipts from locally produced accessible goods and services since the pandemic's shutdowns, marked by double-digit contraction in collections from the sale of beer. Now, collections from domestic excess duty from the financial year ended June 2025 dropped 5.7% to 69.39 shillings, that is 39 cents a billion. Now, the KRA reported last Thursday this represented a decline of 4 billion shillings in absolute terms from the prior years. That was 63.62 billion shillings. TransCentury sold 180 million stake in DBK before collapse. That story is on page 3. On the Tika Nairobi financial hub, startups get tax relief. 3 firms in race to buy troubled Lipa later, and interbank lending hits 90 billion shillings. The interest of time, let's do Taifa Leo.
Karatakali ya Ruto. Yeah, I was just waiting for you to just go with the swing now.
All right,
Swing for the
Karatakali
fences.
ya Ruto mwaka 2027. Wanasema kwamba mpango katika kikao na viongozi wa Kenya Kwanza wiki jana, Rais William Ruto aliwaondolea hofu kwa serikali yao itabanduliwa mamlakani katika uchaguzi mkuu ujao mwaka 2027. akifichua kuwa ipo mikakati ya kuwaleta Kalonzo, Matiang'i na hata anatembea katika muungano wao. Oh, wow. Habari kamili katika ukurasa wa pili, anasema duru zasema rais anazungumza na Uhuru na viongozi kadhaa wa mrengo wa upinzani. Bara Pwani wamezea mate kiti maarufu cha kadhi mkuu Kenya. Kadhi alifariki dunia wiki jana. Musingu hai, mabingwa wa magharibi wafuzu kwa fainali za kitaifa baada ya kupepeta ebwali katika ukanda.
Ebwali katika ukanda. You need to just have the right intonation. Right, that is close to my home as well. The Bwalis, of course, they've done a good job, right? But Musingu, of course, they've prevailed. That is on page 18.
Okay, DCI kumhoji Kihara kwa uchochezi. Idara ya upelelezi ya muamrisha afike makaoni kuhojiwa kwa kuchochea uasi. Masuala ya spoti, kizaazaa, Palace ikifukuzwa Europa League. Sheria ya umiliki ya ponza Kristo. And on the top strip, Mudavadi atofautiana na Rais Ruto, akanya maafisa usalama kuwadhuru waandamanaji. Double speech.
Yes, speaking from the both side of the mouth regarding... So yeah, there are different reactions of this, so we are yet to see how this will pan out. Is it just for political expediency or truly they are believing in what they're saying?
And finally, Lagat hana hatia yoyote. Uchunguzi wa kosa kumpata afisa huyo wa polisi na hatia kuhusu mauaji ya Albert Ojwang. Let's take a look.
Yes, I would really love to hear from our panelists today on that particular development of Lagat being off the hook. All right, time to tickle your funny bones.
The caricatures, this is the Star. Caricature here of former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and of course the President. But 50+1, Gema plus Akamba, Abagusi, na Mulembe, na Nyanza. Cousins wako pale.
Arithmetics there. Will the math be mathing this time forth, as it has been doing? We know the Gen Zs, they really upset the apple cart as far as, you know, ethnic balkanization is concerned. So, is the numbers in the tribal, amassing numbers from the tribal fault line, so to speak. This is the Star.
The Star.
Yes.
Of course, calls for national conclave.
Building Bridges Initiative, national dialogue, that's NADCO, still waiting for that to be happening. Nothing has really come out. Of course, we had the court ruling on the BBI. NADCO also has taken a long stretch of time to be shaken into place. And now it's a national conclave. People are saying, let's not use these verbose big words like a conclave. Let's leave it within the presence of the papacy and the white smoke and, you know, the cardinals when they're selecting their pope.
All right, this is the Standard.
Liberty, Harry is on it. And of course, we know what is happening with our liberty. We have, that is personified as the president, who is having a chainsaw, cutting that particular log. So this is a constitution. Is it being chopped into pieces as far as liberties are concerned, and other after issues of human rights violations as well? All that is enshrined in the articles of our constitution. And he's doing it with a smile on his face.
Now this is it the People Daily or Daily Nation? This is the Daily Nation.
No, this is the People Daily.
Oh, People Daily, Stano's take.
Yeah.
Victims of police brutality are here, dead, others injured, and are going for compensation. On the other side, that arrow is pointing to compensation.
Yeah, and this also brings a question of the victims. The Victims Compensation Act that we have it in the country has never been effected as well. All this are enshrined in the Constitution. There's no need for conversation on the national conclave. Well, now we also need to compensate the people who have been maimed, the people who are injured, the families who have been bereaved, like Albert Ojwang. We have articles, we have acts in the Constitution regarding this compensation. It just needs to be implemented. And it just needs to be implemented.
That's the People Daily, and finally Daily Nation.
And this is eager, and this is about Gen Z. Traditional tribal arithmetic, just as we saw it, 50+1, trying to crunch the numbers. It's being rolled out, but the Gen Z are saying, no, we are not, you know, walking on this particular red carpet anymore on negative ethnicity, using it as a tool now for your political expediency. it's a different game. So things are going to be discernibly different as far as 2027 is concerned.
Absolutely. And the state of the nation this morning?
Yeah, this is what we're going to be discussing. And of course, our guests are already in studio. Dr. Makali Mulu, who is a member of parliament, Kitui Central. Also, we will be having Richard Onyonka, Senator of Kisii, and David Kiplagat, member of parliament for Missouri. He is already seated, of course, sipping his morning cafe, well-brewed coffee, all right? And that will be on the other side of the conversation after we're being guided by Anne.
All right, today being a Monday, we'll be having Monday Blitz. Fred Arocho and Katelo Macy will be joining us later on the show for Marta Sports Weekend, sports news.
Yeah, big day for football over the weekend. You're a football fan, aren't you?
I'm an Arsenal fan, both
Arsenal?
Fred and I. Both.
No,
So
it can't be.
we
it
don't
can't
accept
be.
Arsenal slander on
that
this
is
show.
that is confirmation biases that you normally have in the morning, or because of your
We
particular
don't
team.
accept Arsenal
Liverpool.
All right, do stand by for these conversations and, of course, much more. But do interact with us on our socials at TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X at TV47 News KE. My handle on X is at @_Odida. The hashtag is Morning Cafe. Handle Diba.
At Dybala now. At Dybala now.
Stay with us.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's mind. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home, do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water.
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50, going upwards, once a year, please go see a doctor. Yeah, it's just for normal routine maintenance.
Hey there, friends. Welcome to Kids on the Block, where fun and imagination come alive. We dive into magical world filled with exciting adventures and awesome friends.
What position were you in? I was number 2.
What position were you?
Number 1.
He decided to cross the bridge by his house and look for food on the other side.
We're going to do half cup of chocolate chips, and the other one, we're going to do half cup of the blueberries.
So, grab your imagination hats and get ready to explore with us. Join us every Saturday at 9 a.m. for new friends, amazing stories, and tons of laughter.
Jiunge nasi tunapoangazia safari za viongozi bora. Kutoka kwa ushindi mkubwa hadi masomo magumu.
Wakati wetu kwamba wasichana si wa kusoma, ni wa kuolewa, ng'ombe ipatikane, wazazi wakuwe watajiri.
Tunashughulikia yote.
I wish I were a better investor.
My parents taught me how to look for things for myself.
Tazama Mfahamu Kiongozi, ambapo kila kipindi kimejaa maarifa, mikakati na hadithi za kukuza azma yako.
For me to succeed, I have to fight.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30.
Our world is changing every day, and so should we, for the better. Each week, we tackle the big why, the question that should be on everyone's minds. Why isn't this fixed yet? Deforestation, global warming, and the adverse effects of climate change. The future isn't just something that we inherit, it's something that we create. Join us on The Green Fix as we tell the stories of those who refuse to give up. When it comes to fixing the planet, there is no time to waste. Join me, Shiksha Arora, on Thursdays at 9 p.m. on The Green Fix as we look into the big why, you and I.
For comprehensive information and education on your health, Body Garage is here.
Don't allow anyone to pluck out your good tooth, as long as it is strong and stable.
Cancer doesn't start today and you get the symptoms tomorrow. By the time you pick it or the time it is manifesting in you, probably will be there about 5 to 10 years.
The eye is the window to the rest of the body.
Don't forget to stay hydrated.
And of course, you at home do take your water.
So the ultimate test is actually you check your urine. Your urine should be clear.
Clear like the water?
Yes. Should be able to see the other side of the urine. If your urine is colored or has changed color, you cannot see the other side, then you have not taken enough water.
Don't forget regular health checkups. Early detection saves lives.
I want the message be, we can prevent cervical cancer. We prevent cervical cancer in several ways. You have young girls and even somebody who's above that age, you can pay at least every 3 years. Somebody should have a pap smear done.
If you are 40, 45, 50 going upwards.
Welcome back. You're watching Morning Cafe here on TV47, the home of the Untold Story. My name is Dibala Naya, sitting in for Fred Indemuli. And already we have a guest in studio with us to just take us through a raft of issues that has been happening, just dialing back and looking at how the week has been. A lot has happened during the week. Of course, speaking from what the president mentioned on the ground when he was inspecting the Kilimani housing projects. And we saw the president was fulminating with anger. And people were questioning about his outburst and how he was very categorical on the shoot to maim order. And this has brought to bear a lot of questions, especially on the human rights violation. We shall be looking at that with the panelists this morning. And also, IBC has shaken into place. Right now, we have all the commissioners, including the chairman, that have taken their swearing. That was last week. And the job is waiting for them, fully in tray. And we know the days are ticking off the calendar as far as 2027 is concerned. But even before we go there are by-elections that need to be attended to. And they are pinched for time. Do they have the capacity as far as resources is concerned? And people are questioning the 59.9 billion shillings that they are seeking for. Is that justifiable as well? And we're talking about what is on the dailies today. And that is bound to really attract a lot of reactions on the ground as far as Lagat is concerned, and that is the deputy the DIG that's had to step aside because of Albert Ojwang's death. And we can see on the front page of the Daily Nation, Lagat Off The Hook, and the police was also fighting petition in court to save his job. That is what the flagger is reading this morning on the front page of the Daily Nation. We gave you a comprehensive review there, but I want to just hear the reactions of our panelists this morning in this regard. We shall be discussing this and a raft of other issues as well. Before we head there, just let me hear how the people of Kitui Central are doing. We have Honorable Dr. Makalimuli coming off Kitui Central, fresh from there. Is it raining? I saw also on the weather that it is dry as a crunch.
Yes, good morning, Bao. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
And the morning viewers. Kitui Central is good. So it's a bit cold, just like Nairobi.
Oh, is it as cold as Nairobi has been? Numbingly cold indeed.
It's really cold. It's not raining, but at times it's drizzling.
Okay.
But basically it's cold. So we are okay, Dibao. It's good to see you this morning.
Yeah, it's been a while since we caught ourselves early in the morning.
Early in the morning.
On this.
And I'm happy to see my colleague, DK.
That is Monica DK. Good to know him. Mr. DK, welcome. Right, thank you so much. How are the people of Soy? You can tell us. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, Depal, and our viewers.
Yes.
The people of Soy are doing good. The weather there is raining as usual. And there are chances that looking at around there will be BAMBA harvest in terms of maize production. So I think Kenyans will be safe in terms of food security.
Fantastic, fantastic. Good to hear that. Let's just swing for the fences right now, looking at what is on the front page of the Daily Nation today. Let me begin with you, Dr. Makalimuli. Looking at Lagat being off the hook, this is dramatically different from what people expected. And there's a likelihood, yes, that he could be back to his office as well. But he's still fighting his petition that is in court to save his job. Controversy, Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat is today expected, it says, to resume office after investigations cleared him of any wrongdoing over the death of teacher cam blogger Albert Ojwang. In police custody. The police chief was forced to step aside following public pressure and youth-led protest. You have a story on page 2 of the Daily Nation today. Your reaction?
The ball, I think that the unfortunate bit is that Kenyans expected this. So even if Lagat is off the hook in a process which has confirmed that he has no issue to answer, Kenyans will not believe. And this is because basically anytime we create either a task force or a verification committee or an investigative committee in this country, there is this strong feeling that we do it just to buy time and cool the temperatures. And I think it is important that we start now building some trust into those processes. I think what has happened is over time we have lost trust in some of these processes where people are told to step aside for investigations to be carried out. But the unfortunate bit is, in most cases, people will always come back to office. And you can actually list a number of people who have gone through this process, including corruption-related cases, murder cases like this, where people have been told, step aside, we'll do investigation. But at the end of the day, very few end up in courts or being charged for the offense. Most of them would always find themselves back to the office. So I can tell you from the word go when he stepped aside. Personally, I was prepared to see him back in office.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, because I thought it's just a normal way things are done. So I don't know whether Lagat is out of the hook.
So what you're saying, the process is just a laundromat?
It's more of time buying.
Yeah, you come out squeaky clean.
It's just time buying to cool temperatures and manage Kenyans' expectations. So you know the temperatures were very high after this. You remember what had happened? The Gen Zs were on the streets, Kenyans were up in arms, saying this teacher and blogger should not have been killed. And then they were saying the blame lies squarely on Mr. Langati's office. So with that, I think it was good that he stepped aside for some time so that the investigation can be carried out. I would want to see the report of the investigation to find out, because you remember one of the policemen was saying instructions were coming from Mr. Langati's office that this gentleman should be locked in. And then the question is, when do we place the accountability issues and responsibility issues? Is it at the highest office, or is it at the office which are below him? And these are the questions. I don't know I've not looked at the report, but I'll be waiting to see the report. But generally, I can tell you anytime Kenyans see this, step aside from investigations, they would always imagine this person will find their way back into the office.
All right, let's hear your reaction also, Bonadike.
Yeah, okay, this is expected. For sure, what I want to say is that we should not be a lynching mob, because if you look at the case critically, without using emotions or something like that, DIG Lagat was a complainant, and he did as any other civil Kenyan would do. He filed a complaint, and by doing that, you could see he was a person who was seeking for justice on defamation. Now,
but let me latch on that.
May I finish? May I finish?
Sure.
So, even if you use your own intelligence, there is no way you can legally do the right process by filing the complaint so that the thing can be investigated, and all of a sudden you order the killing of the suspect. You will be leaving a lot of trails unless you are not very intelligent. So you could see actually from where we are standing is that Lagat was somebody who was seeking for redress in terms of investigation and also the court process. But the junior officers messed up the issue, and you know Kenyans are fond of they want the one blood over ire, somebody who is ire, so that they can feel at least they have gotten justice. But I think sometimes let justice be justice, and I think this is the right thing, that IPOA, which is an independent police oversight authority, which looks at the misgivings that our policemen are doing, and they have said that Lagat has a clean bill of health. So we expect him to be back in office maybe today and to continue working. And I think Kenyans should appreciate the process that was done, and the culprits are already in the dock. So let us leave it at that. Thank you.
All right, I would want to know maybe, because you've mentioned he filed, his complaint.
Yes.
To which body did he file his complaint?
When you are filing a complaint, you file with the police through the OP.
Yeah, because we were actually at pains to really find out where that particular OB was. Do you know that where he filed that particular OB?
But the official from the DCI is that, and even from the IG himself, is that DIG Lagat filed a formal complaint with the DCI, and that's why the DCI were investigating the issue. And the DCI went all the way to Homa Bay to pick Albert. It is at the police station, that's a central police station, that they messed things up and they went overboard. So for that, you cannot actually blame the complainant. Like Dibal, if you go and complain about somebody who has defamed you in the police station, suppose the police does anything else and kill the suspect, shall we take you as a collaborator on it?
But if you're my police boss, and I know you have all this, you filed the complaint, we are the junior officers as well. How then do we know that they were not operating under duress and instruction?
Let us tell us, let us get facts right. If you are the police boss, why would you take the pain to file a formal complaint, to leave all the footprints, and you come and execute the suspect? Unless you are so dumb, can you do that? If you wanted to deal with him unofficially, you would have dealt with him unofficially without leaving all the footprints, so that you can be accused of having killed Albert. From the sense and removing the emotions on it, you will see clearly Lagat was somebody who was seeking for justice. Mm-hmm. Whoever was supposed now to deliver that justice is the investigative process, and then from the investigative process it goes to DPP, from the DPP it goes to court. But whoever now, not even the investigators, it was not even the DCI. After the DCI took the statement, they booked Albert at the Central Police Station. It is at the Central Police Station, the officers at the Central Police Station who messed things up. So you cannot blame someone else while you have already the suspects, you have already the accused persons. They are already in court. They have not even been released on bail. So and the body, the only body that is given the mandate to investigate police atrocities is the IPOA. And IPOA have cleared Lagat. What other body or what other allegation will you have for him?
Right, but
let us not just
look at the optics. We're looking at the optics on even how they were looking before, the public.
So you are saying
they were giving the presser. We have IPOA.
Are you saying it is illegal to complain in Kenya?
No, it's not illegal, but we're just wondering where also is the independence of the IPOA in the first place. Even when they're coming, we have the culprit. Lagat is here with the IG himself, and IPOA, they're giving the statement.
But
how do we know?
Suppose, Dipal, sometimes let us not do a lot of imaginations. Suppose they announce there's an accident around Limuru Road there. See, everybody will run there. Whether you meet with your enemy or with your what you didn't want to, but you will meet on the side because all of you are going to check what has happened. And from there, when you come out, you find press. You wanted the IPOA to run away from that press.
With all due respect, Boradik, yes. Okay, we know that perceptions, they say sometimes is reality.
I'm saying,
and this is also where you maybe need to portray some emotional intelligence. That if we have this perception that we have all this. Institutions are arranged together, and it's the same institution which is raising accusatory finger against another institution. Public are bound to take it
also
negatively.
You are also becoming part of the panelists.
No, I'm just trying to interrogate what you're telling us.
I wish you could give us time to explain. We are saying, if an incident occurs, at the first instinct, all of you will run to check what happened. And that is why you found the IG was at the place of the occurrence. The chairman of IPOA was there, and when they came out, they found out press. So you wanted the chairman of IPOA to run away.
But to me, the way I look at it, the police service is a command structure. And by their training, when your boss gives orders, you are supposed to implement the orders before even question the genuineness of the order. Yeah. And when I look at, because I've quickly scanned the National Scaffold, when you say Lagat was not found to have been part of the execution of the killing of this gentleman, so did we expect him to be there? Because for me, what I thought is basically when he gives a command that go to Homa Bay, have that guy arrested, you are giving your juniors that command. Yeah. And by their training, they're supposed to implement that command. So the fact that he was associated, if there was anything to show that he actually gave the command, then automatically he should be able to take the responsibility. Because by giving the command, then the junior officers will obey that command. And, but as he's saying now, I think he has a genuine reason to lodge a claim and say, I've been treated unfairly. That's okay. But now, when it comes to IPOA now investigating, because IPOA is also, by design, IPOA is supposed to appreciate the way the police service operates, the administrative issues and the operational issues. So based on those administrative and operational issues, can you say that somebody who has given a command can be isolated or can be told that you are not part of all this process?
That's the question. How can it be exonerated? That's the question. You're part and a parcel of it, isn't it?
Yes, because from the command structure, actually this thing should even be falling at the IG level. Because the thing is, from the command structure, so long as a senior says, do 1, 2, 3, or implement this decision, then the juniors have no choice. They will just implement. And what we have seen in most cases, and this is an unfortunate bit with the IPOA, is they end up always taking to court the junior officers who are actually basically implementing a command from their bosses. So I think we should be able also to look at the structure and see how the structure is tied to this command structure. Because if I give a command and it's implemented because I've given that command myself, being the senior, then automatically I must be able to take some blame out of that accountability procedure or framework. Yes.
Maybe I have something to clarify. My friend Honorable Makalu Mulu is misinterpreting facts. You know, when you say he gave a command, I think from our Oxford dictionary, giving a command and filing a complaint are totally different things. I think what is clear from all this episode is that DIG Lagat, just like any other Kenyan, using the law, filed a complaint. He didn't issue a command. He filed a complaint. And that when you file a complaint, like anybody else, that complaint is taken up by the DCI.
Okay.
It is investigated, and finally the file will go to the DPP. And the DPP will look at it and find that if it is merited, he will present it to court. If it is not merited, the matter will end there. So Lagat actually filed a complaint. He didn't issue a command.
Thank you.
So I think that one we should.
But you know the guys already in the cells, the police,
of course,
junior officers who have been arrested.
And that is why
I've indicated. So maybe through the court process.
If you look at the whole thing, even before coming to Lagat, there were DCI officers that went to arrest Albert. There were DCI officers. They were not policemen from the central police station. And if you see the people, the officers on the dock are actually the police at the central police station, together with some, I don't know, some criminals where they got them from. I think there was and you know what happens in cells? You know, it is very funny. What happens in cells is that when you go there, there is these hardcore criminals. They can be sent to deal with you. These police, what they do in the cell. So, and you know, you don't control those hardcore criminals. They will do, you know, those are guys who do hard stuff. So,
but where is the safety in the custody? If hardcore criminals are there, I'm arraigned.
You know what?
I'm put in the slummers and we meet hardcore criminals.
You know what happened is when you file. Let's not miss the point. When you file an official.
No, I'm just following your train of thought. That there's nothing much they can do with the hard criminals in the cells.
No, I'm saying it is the collusion. It is the collusion within the central police station that decided to use. If you read the case, decided to use some hardcore criminals to deal with Albert, which was wrong, and that is why they are in the dock.
For the sake of time,
but you cannot, and you should not, even contemplate blaming the complainant, for sure. So let us dissociate from the fact that Lagat issued a command. Lagat never issued any command. He filed a complaint like any other ordinary citizen.
All right, but this is bound to, of course, open a lot of reactions, even from, I think, the Law Society of Kenya and the civil society as well. They see maybe there is a travesty of justice to Albert Ojwang in this particular development. And this is happening, looking on the front page of the Standard this morning. Oh no, not again. We have Julia, who also died in police custody as well, police brutality. And I'm wondering, we have this headline and this coming out also just at the same time. This is bound to be a powder keg that is, expected to explode. So we're waiting to see the instructions or the reactions as well.
I think, Ibale, what you should dissociate from what we are saying is that we are not saying that what is happening in the police cells is good. It is unlawful. It is something that those people who are doing that should actually be investigated, and if they are found culpable, action should be taken. What we are only saying is that in the process of looking for a higher blood, you should not contemplate and confuse the entire setup so that you can be able to get somebody who is innocent.
Thank you.
We are saying the law is an us, so you might want somebody in your own emotions, but if the blood is not linking to that, for sure, as Kenyans, let us accept that we are law-abiding citizens. Right. Those ones who have committed crimes action should be taken, but we should not escalate issues to touch on somebody else who has no issue, and you cry for his blood. You know that is now we create a nation whereby.
But we will not even be discussing this issue today if we had people had misgivings about the competency of IPOA handling this particular case from the beginning. Well, maybe this was the expected outcome from their misgivings. But the question of the national, and I've raised this question over and over, the National Corona Service Act being implemented, who should have ideally handled this particular case of Albert Ojwang and many who are dying in police custody, even Julia, so that we do not have, as the Standard is putting here, how trigger-happy police officers conceal evidence that incriminates them. And people were talking about also when we saw this young man that was being dragged on the tarmac. You remember when he was shot?
Yes,
being taken to a police custody, and people were fighting and saying, no, we don't want them to actually pull out the bullet that is lodged in his brain, right? Because now police want also to pull out the evidence. The National Corona Service Act, why is it not being implemented? And this will have actually made a discernible difference in the investigations where we feel that there is no independence, and there is also the police hand playing and looming large where investigation is concerned. Because right now, do people have the same trust with IPOA that is the current IPOA?
Definitely, I think IPOA has trust deficit, and Kenya, perception is very bad. Normally, perception is a thing about. I think Kenyans out here perceive IPOA as a very effective body. And that's why I think the act you are mentioning, the Coroner's Act, would really assist them, supplement whatever they are not able to achieve.
Yeah. So where do you have the...
But the challenge has been, implementing that act, what will happen is that now you'll be opening the cans completely. People will know what is happening. And as we have said many times, I can tell you for sure, the fact that now Lagat is off the hook is going to make this case, Ojwang's case, so weak that don't be surprised even the junior officers who are involved might just also walk scot-free. Because the thing is, you have taken now the bosses free. Why would the juniors not be free? So I see a situation where at the end of the day, justice will never be served for Ojwang's death. But as Kenyans, really, we will say investigations were done. These guys were told you can go home, there's nothing to answer. But at the end of the day, the blood of this young man will haunt somebody one day.
But don't you think maybe it could be the other way around? That yes, we have the DIG being exonerated in this particular case, but we have the junior officers being implicated in the case, the people who executed this particular act. But as you say, they were not really executing it out of their own choice. Yes.
Yeah, because we might say there are no commands issues, but I'm imagining somebody must have told them, do 1, 2, 3. But the good thing is that this thing is in court. Actually, it will come out, because I think, is it yesterday or the other day, I saw one of the policemen saying, a normal policeman saying, he will say the truth. I wish that this policeman now, during the processing of the case, they will be able to say the truth. Who told them to do what they did? And what I'm saying is, if it happens that that command to go and arrest this young man came from an individual, it could not be Lagat, but a senior officer who might be now what is the right terminology? A senior officer who we don't want to be told who he is because he's senior. That day when the name would be mentioned, we would want to see also action being taken to the senior officers. We would want to see IPOA acting on some of these senior officers, because it looks like IPOA is very keen on taking care of the junior officers and harassing them all over the place. Because this is a command structure. The fact that go and arrest must have come from somebody who is senior, not junior officers. Junior officers are just operational. I will run to Homa Bay, arrest, bring to Nairobi.
But the issue of a command structure, then if you're putting a trail on the command structure, even if it's verbal, because I think we should not just digitize the OB so that we have the occurrence book and this is the number that was booked, then we leave it at that. We need to know, okay, from the occurrence book, how did it go? Trailing the system until, it ended up in the courts, so that we know it was not just a verbal command that was given, and we cannot have any scrap of evidence on what the command structure was when it happened and to whom that it was given, and how people also implemented the execution at the end of the day. Buradike.
Debal, even before I come to that, it's necessary that automation be done. But before I come to that, we are also assuming that the policemen who are executing and doing all this are also robots. That you can be given a command that is against the law and you go and execute. You take personal responsibility. So even if we are accusing IPOA of targeting the small fish, it is the small fish who are also doing the actual crimes. Because if somebody is killed, who takes the gun? It is the small fish who takes the gun. So if you say that I took the gun because my boss told me to take the gun and shoot, and that is against the law, you take the blame. So sometimes let us also not try as much as possible to run from the actual crime. We are saying the actual crime was committed at the Central Police Station. It was not committed at the DIG's office. So, and whoever did that was also a grown-up who knows what the Constitution says. And that is why they are in the dock. You get. So let us not also try to always look for somebody bigger. We have this amnesia of looking for bigger things. We don't look at the nucleus where the actual crime occurred.
What do you mean by amnesia for looking for bigger things?
Because now we are living where the crime occurred in Central Police Station, and we are trying to go and run after Lagat who just filed a complaint. You get, and you have been told this is somebody who committed the crime, and those people who committed the crime are already in court. Why should you also want to other people who are not in the mix, just to satisfy our own ego?
All right. So who is responsible in actually making sure that the implementation of
what we are saying before you go? Yes. What we are saying is that as a police officer, anything you do, you take personal responsibility. You should not say that if you do a crime, then you say, "Oh, I was sent, I was a command, I was." Anybody? Is there anybody who can give you a command that it's against the law and you can't execute?
All right. Yeah. So the shoot to maim is not really against the law that is coming from the president?
What happens? I know we shall be back on that.
We are in the context of it, so that I want to know. So because you're saying everyone should take responsibility, isn't it? We have the top man in the land saying shoot to maim, shoot the leg.
Yes.
So that's what I'm asking.
You are also
executed. Yes.
Okay, may I explain that? You are also misinterpreting facts on what the president says. The president was talking about criminals who are actually doing criminality of looting, burning businesses, burning public and government offices.
Yes.
And any other, even when you go outside there, even when the public finds somebody stealing, So you always get the public will look for a tire and finish up on you. So what the president was just saying, for those criminals, not everybody, demonstrating is if you demonstrate peacefully, that is a right that is safeguarded in our constitution. But when you come out and you start burning people's businesses, you start looting, you start attacking the policemen. So you know what the president was saying, that anarchy should never be allowed, and those criminals should be dealt with it. They should be disabled and be arrested.
We have
those are criminals.
Okay, we have the same member from the
how do you determine somebody is a criminal? How do you determine that?
But if you can see,
the law is very clear that you must arrest somebody, take them to court, so that the due process is followed. And if they are criminals, they'll be taken to jail. Now, how do you see Makalimul walking and you say this is a criminal and you shoot?
No. I think
is that what we are saying in a country?
I think Makali,
but even the president. Let's be very categorical.
No, Makali is misinterpreting issues.
I think
nobody can be shot by just walking around.
The law is very clear, DK.
They are saying the criminals.
Let's not take the law into our hands. You can't determine this guy is a criminal before you subject them to a due process. And the due process is arrest, take to the police take them to the court determines the criminal, you are sentenced.
How do you arrest somebody who can kill you?
But how are they killing? These guys are not armed at all. Some of them.
Yeah, the president was very categorical. He didn't mention any word like criminal, but he said terrorists. This terror, we cannot really, put up with people who are perpetrating acts of terrorism.
Particularly they are terrorizing.
How do you then tell someone who is the crowd,
let us be factual. How do you call for a peaceful demonstration? Then all of a sudden, there are goons and destruction all over the country. Is that still demonstration? These are people who are causing anarchy. And that's why the president was saying these are actually terrorists. They are no longer demonstrators. So there should be a clear distinction between the demonstrators and goons. And what we are talking about are the goons and the criminals. We are not talking about demonstrators. I think we should separate that. We are not talking about peaceful demonstrators.
How do you target protesters or the goons who are amidst protesters? Because now you want to demarcate between protesters and goons. Because goons are not protesting as a block on their own road, and we have protesters on the other side. They've commingled. They're actually and backed in the system of the protest itself.
But you cannot.
How do you pick out?
You cannot protest in somebody's shop.
Let me just ask you. How do you pick out? This is a protester and this is a goon.
But depends.
And you aim unless you have a sniper.
When you are demonstrating in somebody's shop and burning, are you still a demonstrator?
You tell me.
That's $1 million question. You cannot be a demonstrator who is looting somebody's shop.
So you should.
A demonstrator should be on the road demonstrating.
So should you arrest or should you shoot first?
No.
If they resist and if they are actually a threat to your life, is when now you can actually take that particular action. If you're threatened,
I'm saying,
and with the same weapon.
So that it is as clear as daylight, we are saying, one, peaceful demonstrators who have notified the police, and they have said they will be demonstrating from this point to this point, and they have been allowed, and they are on the street, on the road, demonstrating, going to present their petition in a government office. Nobody has said that those guys should be shot. They should be protected to deliver their message.
All right, so what do you say?
What we are saying is that we have now the criminals.
What do you say?
Who are terrorizing everything they see. Those ones should be dealt with accordingly. And the police are well trained, or now they can arrest them.
All right.
That is what the president was saying.
So what do you say when Nelson Koech says that you should shoot to kill? Now it's not shoot to maim, shoot to kill. You've heard that particular clip. I just wanted to get your reactions.
No, what we are starting up is that what we know is that what the president says is that those criminals they should be disabled and arrested. Now, you cannot expect me to respond on all the other people what they have said.
All right. So we're talking from the broad-based government, and we have Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who has come out telling off President Ruto of a shooting order, and he says any directives to kill, maim, disorient, or shock citizens are wrong, infringe on human rights, and could lead to violence. This is what he's just said. We are speaking about the same government.
Let's
the broad-based government. So,
also,
in reaction to that,
let's also be factual. It's only the president who have been given the constitutional mandate to maintain peace and unity and to secure the country, to make sure that all the people within the country are secure. So when you have a case whereby people have met somewhere and they want to destroy the country, you can, as a president, you cannot leave the country just to be destroyed when you are sick.
But I'm asking you just a very pointed question regarding the reaction also from the Right Honourable Raila Odinga, who's part of the broad-based government. So this is the same government.
Even Nepal, before I come there, even when you are dealing with bandits, so we take there the military to go and deal with them, and they deal with them by making sure that they are maimed, so that they cannot continue.
But bandits are harmed. Most bandits are harmed.
Yeah, I'm just,
DK is taking this very casually.
No, he's actually obfuscating.
You can be armed with a fire, others can be pumped
You're not
with
answering my
petrol
question.
jerry cans.
The right, Raila to Ruto says you are wrong on police shooting orders. This is what he says, that, Mr. President, as much as you say that, the president is a figure that is a stabilizing figure for the country as far as security is concerned, you have the same person also, Raila Odinga, in the broad-based government, telling the president you're wrong.
But you see, Nepal, where the president sits, he has a lot of information. He has a lot of information, and he knows when this country is about to tip. So at least what he said, at least I brought some order.
All right, so you can draft short.
You have seen now the collaborators have said, let us call off this demonstration because they are becoming. So all of them have agreed with the president and let us leave this demonstration and let us meet at the ballot, which we are telling them. Let us meet at the ballot in 2027. We cannot sort our problems in the streets.
Which the protesters have said that?
Yes.
We have not had that particular information really coming to hand. Maybe you know better. You can tell us where did they start. Because as far as I'm concerned, also they've been saying we'll gather up even tomorrow. They are seeking justice for Julia here as well, who died in the police custody. Yes. Well, unless I'm a stranger in Jerusalem, you can tell me where that particular news is coming from.
What we are saying is, demonstrations, they can be able to demonstrate anytime. What we are just telling them is that do it peacefully. Don't destroy other people's property. You get? Because your freedom of expression have limits in terms of if it endangers another person's freedoms. So what we are saying is that if you want to demonstrate in this country, do the right thing.
All right.
Demonstration should not be used.
Okay.
I think before we leave this point, you must book
yes.
Let's look at it this way. The President of the Republic of Kenya says, shoot the leg. Then this president is still the commander-in-chief of our defense forces. Then a member of parliament, like DK here, says, shoot to kill. Where is our constitution? I think
a member of parliament from the defense committee.
Yeah, from the defense committee. Says, and that is the committee which also oversights intelligence, national intelligence. You say shoot to kill. And these statements are coming from senior leaders in this country, and not even senior, the President of the Republic of Kenya. It's unfortunate. If I was the president, I would just say, please, Kenyans, forgive me, that statement was not the right statement, and we move on. And I think that's what Raila is saying. Because we have a constitution which clearly states, if I'm a criminal, how should I be handled? So that in the process of handling this criminal, you respect the human rights of the criminal.
All right. Well, let me just get to also reaction from ODM. And what does this really
protect? Criminal have human rights.
You mean criminals have no human rights?
Criminals have no human rights?
When they have destroyed the human rights of their fellow Kenyans.
In what sense?
By looting and destroying their properties.
But how is it really a threat to your own life as it is right now? This is property. Of course, you can actually get other things, to restore you to where you are. But if you're maimed, you just tell me if you're maimed today. And we have the case of Rex Masai. Just a moment. We have the case of Rex Masai who died because he was shot on the leg. You don't know which particular vein you'll shoot. You know,
Even when
you don't know where you'll target. As far as the human anatomy is concerned, they're not the experts.
Even
that
when
you know their arteries and you know what we have.
When you destroy
really
somebody's property, which he has actually labored for maybe 50 years and above, and then you destroy it in a day, that is also maiming. Somebody is making.
And you know, even that property,
yes,
it is the work of the government to protect that property. If you look at the Constitution, it says clearly, it's a cardinal responsibility of any government to protect the citizens and property of the same citizens.
Yeah, and
it doesn't leave out property.
And the citizenry, just to maybe add, took the word of Interior Minister hook, line, and a sinker, you know, saying and being assured, even we saw, then of course, being displayed there in the media, that don't worry, you know, everything is in control. The police will take care of your property. All of them, they trusted. Now we can see goons are now...
He was assuming the demonstrators will not turn into goons.
No, but we are not riding on assumption. An interior minister is a person who say they have a high level of intelligence, you know. As far as the country is concerned, we have NIS, and Honorable Makali will tell you that we have dedicated a lot of eye-popping figures for the NIS, even from the previous budget, that we should be heightened as far as security and intelligence is concerned in this country. So when you're talking that he's riding under assumption, then I'm really worried about also the security of other Kenyans, that we have a minister who is, you know, riding under assumption about their security. We need facts, we need numbers, we need assurance. Let's just hear a clip from ODM, who are reacting to this particular order from the president, which was stripping off his tang regarding shoot to maim.
Speaking at Harambee event to empower women's groups in Sekosi village in Kabuchai constituency, the leaders led by Edwin Sifuna have called on President William Ruto to apologize to Kenyans for the remarks he made recently, ordering them to shoot protesters in the leg.
Rais mzima anasimama anaambia polisi ati ukiona mtu anaandamana wewe piga yeye risasi ya mguu. Mimi kama kiongozi pale Nairobi nimeenda Kenyatta wakati baada ya maandamano kuona watu ambao wamepigwa risasi kwa mguu. It is not something you want to wish on anybody. Hiyo maneno uliongea ni mbaya. You must apologize to Kenyans.
They have also accused the National Cohesion and Integration Commission of being biased in failing to take legal action against President William Ruto and Belgot Member of Parliament Nelson Koech over their utterances.
Na mimi najiuliza, kuna mashirika hii Kenya kama NCIC, kazi yao ni kuita viongozi kama Sifuna kutuharas huko ati tumesema mambo mbaya. Sijaona wakiita watu wa UDA na marafiki wa Ruto waende wakajibu mambo ambayo yanasemwa pale. Wewe kusema wapige watu risasi mguu, it is unconstitutional.
They have also accused the president of interfering with the operations of police officers, which they say is not among his mandates as the president.
Ati polisi iko independent, wao wanafanya mambo yao. Leo hii imekuwaje wewe unatoa amri kwa polisi ati wao wapige watu risasi? Inamaanisha hao watu wote wamepigwa risasi, wewe ndio umekuwa kutuma polisi, si ndio?
In Murang'a County, opposition leaders led by Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Owino have called on the president to lead the nation without using force and accept criticism from the Gen Z.
To our president, His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the main reason why you looked for power and you are voted in is for you to be a better person and to better lives. If you give instructions for people to be shot on the legs, if you kill everybody, who will you rule?
Chichi, Josephine, TV 47, Nairobi.
Tumpigie makofi twende township.
There you have it, and we just want to interrogate also maybe the unity of the broad-based government in this reaction, because we can see this is bound to really drive a wide chasm in the broad-based government, where we have these pronouncements also coming from some of key leaders of the parties as well. Let me just begin with you, Honorable Makali. Do you think you as the united opposition of Kenya, the likelihood of a rift, and where Raila Odinga is also now speaking from both sides of the mouth as far as the unity of a broad-based government is concerned, in the connection with this particular pronouncement from the president, how is it bound to be taken?
For sure, I might not be the right person to comment on that because I don't belong to the broad-based government, but I think I can just say this and allow Diki to give us more details. From where I sit and analyzing the way the things are happening, I think this government has always been, broad-based government has been a government of the two leaders. They are not carrying their followers into the government. And I think Honorable Sfuma has been very consistent, saying that them as ODM are not in the broad-based government. It is the leader of ODM and the few experts who are given, who are actually handed over to these guys to help them manage the government. But generally from their statements, and you have seen Sifuma, you have seen this gentleman from Trans Nzoia, we call him what? The Honorable who? He was actually part of that. Amisi, yeah, Kareb Amisi. A number of them have been very vocal saying this government, the broad-based government, is not serving Kenyans, and more so is not serving the party called ODM. But this gentleman maybe has more details than me.
Yeah.
I can take better for United Opposition.
But United Opposition, when we have a breakaway from the broad-based government, you're the one who will also be welcoming them. Tumultuously back to the party.
Our house is big enough to accommodate everyone, so long as they don't come with the demands.
So the likelihood of Raila coming back to the United Opposition Party
is most welcome.
Is most welcome.
Welcome, so long as no demands.
Okay, don't you think maybe he will blot your copybook as far as perception is concerned?
No, we want the numbers, but not the leaders.
We'll be talking about the numbers momentarily. But yeah, you tell me, you've heard the reactions there. Not everyone is actually sitting well with that particular statement. What do you say?
I think everybody has his own views on such a emotive matter, and I think we cannot say that there is a position for broad-based government and there is a position for the original Kenya Kwanza. I think those are individual leaders expressing their own views, and those views I doubt whether they are.
So this is not the position of the broad-based government. Whom then do we take to be the broad-based government?
So what I'm saying is that...
No, I'm just asking a question. Whom then do you take to be the broad-based government if the president is speaking on this other end and we have the right honorable opposing what the president is saying? I thought they should be on in concurrence as far as some of his statements is concerned.
Honorable Raila has not opposed what the president has said.
He's not really opposed.
What he has just said...
No, I just read it to you.
Yes, I'm coming there. What he's saying is that he has a different view on how this matter should be handled. And that's why he's proposing for a conclave of bringing all the leaders together so that they can be able to chart the way forward in which all the issues, we listen to the complaints that the youths have, the women have, the old generation have, so that at least we carry everybody on board, which is also our view, that at the end of the day we try as much as possible because we are actually representing Kenyans. If there is a clear matter that coming together can be able to address, and I think if there is a president that is very inclusive, is President William Samoei Ruto, because he was able to bring the leader of opposition. They are now working together amicably. The few teething problems you will expect, of course, with varying opinions. You will expect them to be there. But I'm telling you, the structure of the broad-based government is solid. And what I can tell you is that we can only add, we cannot subtract. So Makale Mulu should.
So if the structure of the broad-based government is
May I finish?
Yes.
Makale Mulu should expect that from their team we shall pick one or two to include on the broad-based so that we come even more broader.
We can only wish you well.
So there are conversations which are happening on the back channel. Before I lose sight of what I wanted to say, just before we come to you, Honorable Makale, the Gen Zs are starkly denying, another conclave, another conversation. They take it to be just a cock and bull story, a shaggy dog story that we've had in this country. We don't have any new ideas, especially from the old political class. Just a moment.
Yes.
Yeah, because we've had dialogues before, and we've not had any discernible difference really coming to the public as far as the implementation of its dialogues is concerned. Right now, even you in the National Assembly, we have the NADCO report. For how long have we been talking about the NADCO report? Where is it even when looking at the traction of a NADCO report? Just a moment.
Yes.
Yeah, we had the BBI, it went down YouTubes as well. Nothing really happened before. We're telling us, can we dial back to the Bomas draft conversation? In this epoch of time that we're living in, I mean, things have really changed, right? And we know the issues. Why do we need to come on the table to ask, oh, we want corruption to be stopped in this country, the heavy corruption that is happening, mismanagement of funds is happening. This will be the same issues that we're talking. The rule of law, police brutality. These are things that will be on that particular table. Why would we need a national conclave? And then we dedicate a lot of eye-popping figures in terms of steamrolling all this conversation when the country needs this money for the hospitals to actually steamroll the SHA that is a deficit of funds as well as we're speaking. Why?
You know, Nepal.
How are we justifying that we need this conclave?
Nepal, you also agree with me when people meet and air out their views, that problem is half solved than bottling them up on their own and burning with it. Secondly, we are assuming that problems started with William Samoei Ruto. All these guys who are seeing the problems have been at the center of solving those problems. Kalonzo has been a vice president in Kenya. Rigiji Wamunyoro has been a vice president, a deputy president for that matter. Matiang'i has been the coordinator and supervisor of government. Who else? Martha Karua has been even minister for justice. All these fellows, at one point or another, have been in a situation where they can be able to sort issues. But issues were never resorted, and they are still there. What is happening is that, if I ask anybody who is so much complaining, what has the President, William Samoei Ruto, done that is so bad to a nearly or burning a country that all other successive governments did? What the problem is, we all appreciate Kenya has a big problem. And the big problem is it has been accumulating from 1963 up to today. So that in 1963, when we had zero debt, now we have around 12 trillion debt to manage. You can assume, by the way, where all the money that you collect as taxes goes to paying debts and recurrent expenditure. There is nothing for development. For you to do any development, you have to borrow.
Thank you.
So, and what the president was trying to do, because all these things was generated from Finance Bill 2024, what the president was saying, he had an agenda to make sure, tell our Kenyans, we need to tighten up our belt. The only way we can develop this country is to have a balanced budget in 3 years. But this by 2027, you have a balanced budget. What it means by a balanced budget is that what you generate and what you spend is balancing to zero. And that is where we are heading. And for us to be able to do that, we cannot go to a field, to Uhuru Park, to pray so that the Almighty can bless us so that we can have a balanced budget. We have to be systematic. We have to tighten our belts. We have to generate our own taxes. And that is why the raft of taxes that were proposed in the Finance Bill 2024, which was amended to suit what the Gen Z wanted, is that it was meant to take us somewhere periodically we have a balanced budget. But Kenyans say, no, we don't want to go that route. We want to just exist and borrow, and anything we do, we just borrow. And because you are a doctor, you try to administer a medicine, the patient refuses and refuses violently. So what do? And then the problems will persist. And when those problems persist, they start complaining to you that you are a fake doctor. You didn't sort this, you didn't sort this. And people are not listening when they are given the medicine to sort. So what we all agree is that the problems of Kenya has been there. They'll be continued being there. It is not that William Samoei Ruto started the problem. So he should not be sacrificed for problems that started. He was just trying to correct. If we all agree that it should not be corrected, then well and good. Right. Let us all
just a moment. I'll come to you, Honorable Makali, because I needed to ask him, because if history may bear us down as well, yes. We've heard of also the president saying, what is the need of history? We don't need things like history also in our curriculum. Let's concentrate on the STEMs as well. Yes. If history may bear us down, yes, and what President Truman said, and I know maybe you're familiar with it, yes, the president should not be raising accusatory fingers and saying, oh, it is this previous regime over the years that we have been in this problem. I mean, he is a president. At the end of the day, Truman said, the buck stops with me.
And we accept.
And he should now not be telling Kenyans, oh, you know, I'm not the one, I'm not responsible. He is the president, right?
Can
you finish,
No, may I finish? But what you are exactly saying, we don't want to pass the buck. We accept that.
But that's exactly what you're doing.
May I finish? The president actually accepted, and that is why he gave us the medicine. But Kenyans refuse to swallow the medicine.
No. You know the ball, eh?
Kenyans refuse to swallow the medicine.
This is a tired story. Very tired story. You know why am I saying so? When the president was campaigning and telling Kenyans, I have a manifesto, and this is what I will deliver, he must have done what we call problem analysis. He must have looked at what is the problem with this country, and based on those problems, he prepares his manifesto. Now he comes and telling us, Kalonzo was a vice president, Rigathi was a deputy president, and so was a senior minister.
There's an empty coffer.
That doesn't make sense to us. He has a manifesto which he told us in 5 years, I'll be able to deliver on this manifesto. Anytime I look at any problem...
Which he has delivered.
Anytime I look at any manifesto, the thing is, unless the people who prepare this manifesto were not foreigners, they should have appreciated what problems are Kenyans going through by the time they were doing their manifesto. And based on that problem, then you structure your strategies, which are going to address that manifesto. What they have done, they cheated Kenyans. And now they are realizing their lies cannot be implemented.
No.
And the best they can do is to accept that we have a promise, we cannot deliver on our promises, and on the basis of this, Kenyans, can you now appreciate the fact that we promised you this, we could not achieve because of the reasons, 1, 2, 3. We'll be able to listen to them. But when they start now blaming former regimes, Kibaki regime, Uhuru regime.
All right, okay.
I'm more clever than that.
For the interest of time, because I can see also I'm getting pinched for time.
I need some repeater.
Right of reply.
I right of reply. You know, Makali Mulu is assuming that we have ran short of ideas, that we are not working to make sure that we can implement our manifesto. What I want to tell you is that we have really implemented our manifesto. One of it, from day one, after the president put down the Bible, he reduced, through subsidy, the cost of fertilizer.
The same story. Why Kenyans on the streets? Why are Kenyans?
No, may I finish?
Things are working well.
Why they are, you know why they are on the streets. You know why they are on the streets.
No, because you have.
But may I explain? By making sure that subsidy that the government spends of around 15 billion on subsidy fertilizer, what has happened? The production has gone up, and for the first time, we have been food stable for 3 years. Food stable. Look at it when we were coming in. We were even aid subsidy for unga, where we were saying go to the supermarket, we will be given a voucher, buy 2, so that they reduce the unga from 205. 205. Okay, of course, there are teething problems. Don't worry about the teething problems. From 205. Right now, the cost is around 120. Look at where the dollar was. The dollar was in the region of 170. Now it has stabilized to 130. So if you look at all the macroeconomics, all the micro and the indicators are there, and we are saying facts are stubborn. You know, you can't manufacture facts. Facts are there. All the macroeconomics, it has stabilized. We said on the issue of affordable housing, so it is going on well. On the issue of SHA, it is going on well. On the employment of teachers, the government for the first time since independence has employed over 76,000. And by the end of this financial year, they will have employed 100,000.
Thank you. Where is the disconnect? Just a moment.
What we are saying is the only departure that occurred is that in the process of trying to get the medicine to balance our budget, I said that to balance our budget, the Finance 2024 bill became a medicine that the younger generation and the opposition refused to swallow. And they refused to swallow, and they know if we had swallowed, by 2027, we'll have a balanced budget. And we are saying that is the only way we can stabilize our economy. And the president meant well, and they have reduced the medicine, and even after we left that medicine, they are still knocking on it.
Are we saying that now, because the finance bill was not accepted by Kenyans, that now we sit and die?
No.
Because you are governing, you are the people in power.
You know, we are.
If we are,
what happens?
Okay, maybe the better question would be just to ask him. Yes, since you have all this array of sterling performance from the government. It seems maybe the center is not really speaking to the periphery.
Yes.
There's an issue with the communication of
There's
how
a disconnect.
This, this is the disconnect we are asking, the departure that is arising. Who is failing, also the president, in communicating this effectiveness that the government is steamrolling?
The problem with opposition is that when they get a problem, they want to milk it and milk it. It never dries. Because the problem... No, may I finish what I'm saying? The problem occurred in the finance bill. That is where the Gensis were on the street. Now, this year, the problem occurred not because of anything, because they wanted to say, was it celebrating or to mark? Was to mark,
DK.
Commemorate.
DK, the thing is, you can't always be hiding behind the finance bill as a government.
You get it?
You need to
No, but you have to agree why are people on the streets? I'm explaining why are people on the streets.
Okay.
The problem occurred in 2024, the people on the street, because they refused the finance bill, which we dropped it all together. Now, this year, they were on the street because they were commemorating why we were on the street on 2024.
Thank you.
And the Sabasaba that has nothing to do with this government. That Sabasaba thing came in 1990. It was between Matiba, Kina Raila, what is it called? Huyu wa PCA,
Timothy Joya?
Timothy Joya, there was another one there. You know, those are history that but these guys are looking for every opportunity to be on the street to make sure the government is governable.
Thank you.
And that is their agenda.
Okay, let's look at, please now listen. You can't be talking over.
Listen, let him also have his time.
You know, the thing is this. The Gen Zs have very clearly stated what their problems are. Their problems are unemployment. Their problems are mass killing through what is extrajudicial killing. Their problems, they have already listed those problems. And instead of this DK telling us what are they doing to address those problems, he started listening to fertilizer, listening public debt. They have made public debt more worse than it was when they took over. So the thing is, I'm saying this Kenya Kwanza government, if they want to help themselves and help Kenyans, it's time they sit down, reflect on where are we getting it wrong, and map up a good strategy in terms of how do we move forward.
All right, but
they have 2 years, they can still.
But let me never guess now on the United Opposition Party, because you were also on record, and you're telling Kenyans, this was the pronouncement that we had from Honorable Mukisa Kitua, that we are calling the Kenya Republic to take this regime as a hostile regime.
Yes.
It's an enemy of the Constitution, and the people it has declared war on, the citizens of Kenya. And we, the people, must resist to be dragged into a state of anarchy. The architects, enablers, financiers, and executors of this regime's violence will be held personally liable, both locally and internationally.
Yes.
The day of reckoning is coming. No badge, no title, no political alliance will shield you from justice. So is that also the prime solution that is coming from the opposition? No, to call the regime a hostile regime? And characterizing a hostile regime, what does it really portend? Are you also not inflaming this and stoking the sentiments of anarchy itself?
No, we are not. Actually, what has happened, if you look at our Constitution, Article 1, it says the sovereign power of the Republic lies with the people. So, and this power can be exercised by delegating that power to people like me and him. And when it's delegated to us, who are elected leaders, doesn't mean they don't have the power. But so in a situation where those who have been delegated the power are not using the power in the right way, the people still have the authority to
But I'm inclined to wonder, me as a Kenyan, a lay person, and listening to a leader telling me this is a hostile regime, so we take it as a hostile regime. So how am I supposed to react to a hostile regime?
Basically,
with hostility?
No, the Constitution is very clear also, that every 5 years,
but that was not
you have an opportunity
let him finish.
Yeah, you have an opportunity to go to an election after every 5 years. What we are doing is we are preparing Kenyans to know that this regime is not serving your interests. And on the basis of that, can you start now mobilizing so that come 2027, you have a critical mass to send this regime home because they're not serving your interests. And I think that has come out cleared about many times. That Kenyans are saying, we gave you the mandate to govern, we gave you the budget to implement your policies. You're not doing that. And a very simple fact about, very simple. If you are implementing a program and the people who are supposed to benefit from that program are not telling you we are benefiting, why would you say you are doing a good thing? Because when people resist, and we are seeing a lot of resistance on what is happening in this government, this resistance is telling you that whatever programs you're implementing, they're actually not making our life better. So I get surprised when he talks about fertilizer, he talks about these things they have done them, but Kenya is telling them they are not helping us. Okay. Come up with the new initiative.
Could the president also be picking a very nuanced and undertone of, you as the opposition want to change the government? Because he says this country will not be destroyed with a few people who are impatient and who want to have a change of government using unconstitutional means. But it is not going to happen, and I want to tell them it is not going to happen.
You know, some statements coming from the president, they make me get worried. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. We are not. The president has all what I will call the national tools and instruments to govern.
But if you call his regime a hostile regime, why would he not believe that there is some impatience and this is the reactions that you want to know?
No, he has never seen any of the Kenyans out there organizing to come and attack Kenya. We are all living in this country. This Kenya is ours. We are just saying, through a very democratic way, we will be sending this regime home because they are not serving the interests of Kenyans. We don't have the armed forces to overthrow his government. So nobody can go through unconstitutional means. Actually, the united opposition doesn't have anything what it takes to do unconstitutional removing of the government. They don't have. And we have said it many times.
I'm happy.
So they are just getting scared.
I'm happy for one thing, that Honorable Makali Mulu is running away from that united opposition statement. And if I saw that statement that was read by none other than Mukisa Kitui, Makali Mulu was behind.
Yeah, I was there, by the way. That's why I'm able to articulate the matter.
But
I was there. I was there.
Yeah, I saw you.
It seems he wasn't listening.
No,
because
very keen.
What did they say after
after
declaring that the current regime is hostile? They came up with a raft of issues. In fact, they declared we cannot even wait until 2027. If I'm not wrong. That's what the statement they say. They cannot wait until 2027. They have to remove it now. And they came up with a raft of measures they are going to take. Part of it was economic sabotage. You remember they said now you don't you don't go to which hotel, to which world, you need to profile all the businesses.
It's related to the regime.
So,
but this is software. You remember at some point,
what do you mean software?
We even said, there's a time when I've been in the opposition for all the time I've been in parliament. You remember at one point we even said don't use Safaricom lines, and we changed to Airtel.
Yeah, I do
the
remember.
Opposition. You remember?
Yeah, but that is sabotaging the country.
It's just a software issues. We are not able to overthrow this government.
But you're sabotaging the economy.
You're getting scared for nothing.
We need to be winding up.
Because he said they will come up with raft of measures on how to bring this government down because they cannot stomach it to 2027. That was their statement. And I'm very worried.
Which reads like impatience.
And I'm very worried that Honorable Mulu, who was behind Mukisa Kitui, was not listening to the statement.
No, actually, I was part of the statement.
Let's wind up.
For you.
Yes.
So unless now you need to call now another presser.
I'm just unpacking for you what the statement was.
And you clarify that let us meet at the ballot in 2027. And now that there is IBC in place.
Indeed, which we didn't discuss. We have not had time to discuss that. We'll dedicate another time.
In place. Kindly, instead of having your manifesto as one term, Kasongo and things like that, can you also come up with your manifesto?
By the way, we have a very clear manifesto. It's not that we can't implement it because you're in government. We want to remove you so that we implement ours.
The last time their kingpin, Wabunyoro, was told, what is your manifesto? He said, our manifesto is one term.
Yeah.
So you can imagine where they are. So
all right.
Kindly, I doubt whether you are going to sell to Kenyans.
No, you know what we have done?
We need to get to your closing remarks.
What we have done, DK, we have said we cannot make Kenya better when Ruto is the president. So our manifesto number one term. Then we can sort out the issues of this country.
All right.
But
gentlemen, I want to thank you so much.
You also appreciate all of them have been in government in their own life cycle. What do you call this life cycle?
But they have never been the president.
The life cycle.
They have only been part of the government, not the president.
You know, all of them
metamorphosis.
And the problem, might I tell you, the problem with Kenyan politicians that is causing problems in Kenya is that everyone wants to eat to be on the eating table. That's the only issue. They are not listening there. In fact, nobody is worried of Kenyans. Even if we take Makalu Mulu, we pick Alonso today.
Thank you.
And he's on the table. He will be singing Hallelujah as if he wasn't.
Thank you.
As if he wasn't the one.
All right. Can I just get close? All right. I need to butt in now. We need to close. Honorable Mokali, maybe I can get your closing remarks moving forward this week as well. What are we looking forward to? IBC is in place just in 30 seconds. And
yeah. Thank you, Debate. Thank you, Debate. I just want to give Kenyans
briefly
hope. And tell the Kenyans that there is a lot of hope. We have only about 2 years to sort this mess and streamline issues of Kenya. For these gentlemen who are in power, the 2 years are still there for you. If you want to help Kenyans, you can implement your manifesto. Stop complaining about the united opposition. Focus on your agenda.
Thank you. All right.
Okay. My closing remarks are now that we have IEBC in place, which is a good thing, and I want to advise the opposition. The only way to bring regime change is through the ballot. And it is only Kenyans who can decide who their leaders are, from the president all the way to MCA. And I can tell you, from where we are sitting as Kenya Kwanza government, is that we shall support IEBC to deliver a credible, transparent, verifiable elections. At no time, because I've seen some things on the social media that somebody says we shall just add the box. No. What we want to tell you is that we shall deliver a transparent, accountable, and verifiable elections.
Thank you.
And we have the numbers.
Thank you.
And we might not have the numbers to defeat them in the streets with goons. But we have the numbers to defeat them at the ballot box.
Fantastic.
So we are telling them, organize themselves, let us meet at the ballot box.
Right, we eagerly wait for that as well, and we shall be discussing IBC, I think, much later in the course of the week when we try and justify why also they are asking for 57.4 billion shillings at this time. They're pinched for time as we're looking at the clock as well, is really ticking. But I want to thank you, gentlemen, very much. David Kiplagat, Member of Parliament, Soy, thank you for coming through this morning. Also, Honorable David Makali Mulu. I always now confuse them with David Makali, the journalist. Yeah. But Makali Mulu, thank you for coming through. Member of Parliament, Kitui Central. I really do appreciate. Thank you. We had also expected Senator Richard Onyonka, who has slept through the alarm. Well, he didn't show up this morning, but we do wish him also a good day as well. Thank you also for your valued company. And always we say, in essentials, unity, non-essentials, liberty, in all things charity, let us congregate about the essentials, which is this country holding it in stability. And just as you've said, let us not lose hope, but also we are reminded that hope that is deferred, it makes the heart sick. Thank you for your valued company. Sport is up next. And Fred Orocho, they are standing by to give you all the details that has been happening over the weekend. Thank you very much for your valued company. Don't go away for that sporty action, which is coming up on the other side of the break.